I called the eye doctor, my vision was askew. I called the eye doctor to see what he could do. And then the eye doctor, he told me what to do. He said, ding, ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, walla, walla, ding, ding.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back to Conversations with
Chris
and Crystal. And today, again, we wanted to share some of the things that happen in our lives from day-to-day things that make us crazy, but, what doesn't sometimes. And so we are going to enact this little moment of Chris's. And I decided I would be, all my customer service background that I have.
yes, indeed.
Yes.
She is going to, I'm going to be me, and she's
Yes.
not.
And I'm not. I'm not going to be her.
All right.
Okay. Oh. Good morning.
Oh, hello. I'll be a new patient, and I'd like a full eye exam.
All right. You said you're a current patient?
No, I'll be a new patient. I'd like to see Dr. X if I could.
Dr. X is making appointments for November at this time. I do have an optometrist available who could see you tomorrow.
Well, I'd prefer an ophthalmologist if I could. Does Dr. X have any appointments available on December 28th by chance?
He'll be out of town at that time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a teacher, so I need to have an appointment during one of my breaks from school, and, it's fall break right now. So, do you have any ophthalmologists available this week or next week?
Dr. Z can see you 2 weeks from now.
That won't work because I'll be back at work.
I have an appointment available with Dr. Q next Thursday.
Oh, that'll be perfect.
Now, you said you needed a prescription? An eyeglass prescription?
No, I wanted the full eye exam with the glaucoma test and everything,
Do you have glaucoma?
No, I just want to make sure I get the full eye exam with the air puff thing for glaucoma.
Did someone tell you you have glaucoma?
You know what? Just forget it and cancel the appointment, please.
So typical.
So, I probably overreacted, but, it's just, come on. Why won't you just set up the appointment? Why you keep asking me about...
I know. They are so much fun. They really, really are. Hence, it's great to stay away from Western medicine because they will make you sick if you're not already.
Yes.
So, okay. Oh, yeah.
Then the next thing that I wanted to give you guys an update
Yeah.
on what happened this summer, because I had some appointments that I mentioned in one of our prior videos that I needed to make a vet appointment for my cat who had some ear problems, and then my air conditioner needed to be checked out for the summer, right? So I went to the vet.
It gets better.
They charged me over $200, and the vet goes, okay, so just wash his ears with this ear wash every morning, okay? And then put in the medication, and in 2 weeks bring him back for a follow-up visit, and that's only going to cost you $90 that time.
We are all in the wrong business. We really are. Oh my gosh.
So I knew that my cat, Phantom, he was not going to tolerate both the washing and the medication.
Right.
So I was like, well, I better do the medication because that's supposed to help, right? So I come up to him in the mornings, and he's sitting there and he's minding his own business. He sees me coming and he's all,
Yeah. He's out of here.
yeah. So, occasionally I got some in his ears, and then after about the first week of hit and miss getting it in his ears, I gave up. I was like, it's torturing him. And this is a skittish cat to begin with. This cat came from a house with domestic violence. So, in his mind, all it is someone else abusing him. So I was just like, I hate that he's hurting.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And he's itching, and he keeps scratching his ears till they bleed. And that's what I got those covers for my clothes, because he would get underneath where my clothes are hanging, and he'd scratch and shake his head, and blood would fly everywhere.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
So is he better now?
No. he scratches his ears and they're red a lot, and he still gets bloody sometimes, but I don't know what else to do. I mean,
Did you look on YouTube? Anybody got any suggestions?
no, I mean, yes, I did, and nobody really has this specific problem. It's always
Okay.
the same answer: go to the vet.
Yeah.
Well, the vet
Yeah.
didn't help.
Yeah.
So I feel like the poor boy. He's 13 years old now.
Yeah.
So it's like this is a minor issue in his life. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it hurts. Yes, but not all the time, and he has a good quality of life
Yeah.
in every
Otherwise,
other way.
Yeah.
I don't want to add to his misery
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Yeah.
let's just go with it. And I wanted to say one more thing, because I know that some people out there are probably going to say, oh, that's abusive. You should have animal control called on you because you're not taking care of his problem. Well, the point is, I tried.
Well, and to tail off of your vet story, my girlfriend called me in a panic. She has a 13-year-old Yorkie, and she had just lost a few months before her other 13-year-old Yorkie had passed away. And so her whole life is just into this last puppy of hers. And she brought him, believe it or not, I think he was having trouble eating. She brought him to emergency, and they determined that, one, he had a mass in his stomach, both of his hips were displaced, and so she had to leave him there for the weekend, which is thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Because he couldn't go to the bathroom either because he couldn't get up. And so it turned into this massive mess. Kept him over the weekend because there was nothing she could do. And she kept going to see him and feed him and all that kind of stuff. And that was the other thing they said, would you like to put him down? And I think they do that in emergency because that's what they do. They're supposed to be urgent care. They're supposed to hurry up and, either determine they can fix it or do away with it. And so she was devastated because of her recent loss. And I totally understood. I prayed for her. We went and got him on Monday to bring him to the guy who works on the hips and the knees. He had just done his knee. He had just done surgery on his knee a few months before. And so we went to him, and it was amazing. I wish I had filmed him. I mean, he just sat there and he looked at the x-rays and he said, well, first of all, there is no mass. One hip is out, not the other. And he said, I can fix that in 15 minutes. I can do surgery and fix that in 15 minutes.
See, this is why I don't trust doctors
Yeah.
anymore, because there was no mass. What if this had been a human and they say, oh, you have a tumorous mass, you're going to die in 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they go to somebody else and, oh, and that's not you.
Yeah, that's not what's there. Oh, that happened to my brother. He called me and he said, oh, by the way, Crystal, I have cancer again, because he had it when he was 6. And I went, no, you don't. I just knew in my heart, Holy Spirit was telling me, no, he doesn't. And 2 weeks later, he called me because he went to an oncologist. They had more expensive equipment, and he had gallstones.
Yeah.
So it's like, if nothing else, get a second opinion.
For sure.
Pull yourself together.
Yeah.
Trust God. That is where the healing comes. And we tell these little stories, but yeah, this is real life. These are people that are devastated by this news and crushed and hurting, and it takes them down several notches that they should not be at. They should be able to stay strong and stay, positive and move forward.
And some people, we can't afford to spend thousands of dollars
Right.
to try and help our animals. And
Neither can my girlfriend, but she had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
Well,
bad.
yeah.
She had to because they forced her to.
yeah,
They
she
forced
didn't have
her
a
hand.
choice.
Yeah, she didn't have a choice.
But, and I'll tell another story about another cat that I had that had cancer in his jaw. And the vet, at the time I had 12 cats and no job. So, so I
That's
was
tough.
even worse off than than normal. But
And nobody would take them, because I remember you trying to.
I
'cause
tried
it was
to
just
give
too
some of my
many.
cats
Yeah.
away because
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot afford to take care
Right,
of all these
you
cats.
know that, yeah.
Nobody would take them, so I just gave them the best life I could with
Yeah.
what I had.
Yeah.
But I digress. Anyway, so this vet had told me that this cat with the cancer in his jaw, he said, to be honest, anytime an animal is diagnosed with cancer, we can put them through the treatments. It's a miserable experience for the animal. and I guarantee that the cancer will come back within 1 or 2 years. And it's like
Yeah.
thousands of dollars each time you treat them for the cancer. And he says, and I understand that you don't have that kind of money.
Right.
So he says, I support your decision either way with whatever you want to do. But they told me, give him baby food so it's easier to
Yeah,
eat.
right, to eat,
And
yeah.
then when his quality of life has gone downhill, then come in and they would
Yeah.
put him down. for
Yeah.
him. And that vet has since retired. That's
of
why
course.
I was looking
all the good
for
ones are
another-
gone.
Yeah, and it just makes me sad because they cared. They
Yeah,
really cared.
yeah.
And they're not there anymore. And you just can't find good old-fashioned
Right.
doctors
Yeah,
or
people
vets
who
or anything.
care,
Yeah.
about the animal. All they care about is the money, and it's really tough. It really is, and that was heartbreaking. That was
Yeah.
I had our dog for 19 years, and I think I spent a lot of those 19 years worrying that what would happen if something happened to her and we didn't have the money
Yeah.
to fix it.
It's hard.
We fixed a lot of things over the years, but and really, we had just gotten her, and our financial advisor said, "Get rid of the dog." I said, "Well, get rid of one of your kids then, if
Yeah,
that's what you wanted," because we didn't have any kids. And he said, "Okay, I'll let it go." But yeah, I would have to say it is heartbreaking if you cannot afford to repair, especially if you have children. Because anything goes wrong with that animal, you have to fix it or get it fixed and pay for it to be fixed, because your kids will lose it big time. So,
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing, just another explanation I feel like I should make is I had 12 cats, not because I went, give me every cat in the world, but I had a stray who had kittens,
yeah,
and I got attached to them, so I couldn't.
yeah,
And so it just went from there. And then once people find out you have, like, say 5 cats, oh, you want another one? I found this one, it's ridiculous. It's like people, if you find an animal, you keep it.
yeah, yeah,
You take care of
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
the kindest thing to do.
yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a follow-up on the air conditioning guy. Okay.
I just get carried away here with my, Okay,
Yeah.
So the air conditioning guy, this was kind of funny. I don't remember all of what was said now, but I just got to tell you. So the guy took his sweet time getting it done. He was there for 2 or 3 hours. Just checking it. He wasn't making any repairs. He's just looking at it.
They should be able to just look in 2 minutes.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, what is taking so long? He went outside. He's outside for a good 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Well, apparently he got his hose from his truck or whatever, and he's hosing off his shoes for some reason. It wasn't muddy outside. I don't know what he was
That's
doing.
interesting.
And I'm like, so he finally, he comes back. It was 2 hours. Yeah, he comes back inside, and then he starts asking me a lot of personal questions, like, "Oh, how long have you been in Arizona?" and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, okay, And then we're talking, and then it's like he was fumbling, searching for some kind of, and then I would say, like, word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Something about you're really good at finishing people's sentences or something like that. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. It was
Yeah, I
like
didn't
rude."
mean to-
I said,
yeah,
"I didn't mean to
right,
be." He
yeah.
said, "No, not at all." And I said, and I mentioned earlier, because he was asking me these questions. I mentioned I was a teacher. He says, "Oh yeah, you're really good with the kids then, probably, because." And I was like, "Okay, are we done now? Can you go?"
Can it get fixed?
I wouldn't say anything. Well, there was nothing wrong with it, but
Okay.
it was just to be checked.
Okay.
for
Okay. Sure.
the seasonal checking.
Sure.
Well, then he's like, "Well, there's these things on there that could cause a problem later that you might want to get those fixed and blah blah blah." I don't even remember what he said. And
Oh
I
my
gave him
gosh.
some estimate for like $1,300, and I was like, "Yeah, thank you."
Goodbye. Goodbye. Leave me alone.
Because I'm just
Yeah.
like, I want out of this house to begin with.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not making any repairs on this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's not like it's going to go out. He just said eventually it's going to go
Sure,
out. And it's like,
sure.
well, that's true of anything.
That's true of any of the air conditioners. Yeah, they're
So-
always, you never know how long they're going to stay and last. And
And then he sits out in his truck for like, I don't know how long. It's like, I was going over to my mom's house afterwards, and he's there till like after 2 and stuff. And I'm like, come I want to get going. He's sitting out there, and I didn't want to leave while he was still there. I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, you leave the house, yeah.
So, I finished getting ready and everything. I'm ready to go, and I'm like, I wonder if he's still out there. And I peeked out the front window. He's still sitting there.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, come on. So finally, he left. I think it was 2:45. And I was just, man.
I know.
So
well, my favorite was when we took you to get your car work done.
that was just this week.
Last week.
Last Thursday.
Yep.
Ooh.
To be more specific, yeah.
Because this guy, and I was
I couldn't believe this.
I was talking to my brother on the phone yesterday, and I told him about how disappointed I was too, because I referred him to them. And
yeah, right.
They did a good job for him too. Well, okay, back up. So this is my trusted mechanic that they did lots of wonderful things for me, like when my old car, they had just finished fixing the engine, and I was just leaving, and this old lady slammed into the front end of my car.
Oh, no! No. Oh, no. Oh, this is terrible. No, nothing can help now.
And they fixed everything with no labor costs. I mean, this man, he was such a nice, kind man, the owner of the shop. Mm-hmm. Well, his employees are not as good as he is,
right.
Because, anyway, so
Thursday comes, and I go and pick you up. You drop off your car at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I was there since 7:40.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, they had it since 7:40.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, you tell them what happened when we were trying to leave. When you picked me up.
Oh my gosh, yes, right. Okay, so yeah. So this is, I don't know, they must be the most overwhelmingly amazing shop in town because they are in a terrible location. They have just a strip that goes across the front of all of their garage doors, where they have the cars in there. So there's one little strip of black asphalt to the end of their garages, turns and goes another strip, goes around another building that's something else, out to the next street, out to the street. So it's like an alleyway that you get to drive in, and where they park all their cars.
That aren't in the
garage. So and it's completely full all the way from this end, coming in, all the way to getting out, and sometimes on both sides. So one car can get in and out, maybe if you're lucky, depending on the size of the cars.
And one car going one way. Not both ways.
Well, they're trying to go both ways. So this is what happened. I mean, this was somebody who worked there. I don't know how you live your life without regard for anybody else but you. Yes, I do. You're a narcissist. Okay, so we got that labeled. Okay, so this guy comes in this truck to park the truck. He pulls out of a space in front of me. I'm going to try to go all the way around because I pulled in. Now I can't get out. I have to go forward. And he pulls this truck out and comes toward me. And I thought, well, maybe he'll move a little to the right so that I can get by him. No, he comes and pulls right in front of me to get into another space over here.
She had to back up.
I had to back up, and there was somebody behind me trying to get out of the street into the driveway. So this was crazy. I mean, that was nuts. I don't even remember how we finally did get out of there.
Well,
I didn't back up because the guy was behind me.
Yeah,
he finally parked.
Finally parked over here, and so you could get past him.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing. He never once acknowledged me or looked at me or anything. He just did whatever it was he was going to do and drove into his spot, and that was it. And it was like, oh, great. So it didn't matter if I had to back up back into the street with the car behind me. It didn't matter if, I mean, apparently I would think he would have had a problem hitting me, but I was beginning to wonder. Anyway,
it's not like she drives a tiny little thing either. She
drives
a Jeep.
I got a Jeep, for crying out loud, people. It's not like you can't see it. So anyway,
we spent the day doing what we were doing.
And I said to her, have they called you about, hey, were your car's ready?
And I was so confident that
she was very confident.
They'll be fine. So about 4:15ish.
Actually, closer to 5 because they close at 5:30, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, closer to 5.
4:30, quarter to 5.
She's
I called him. I said, hey, any word on my car? And the guy, it's like, oh, well, this other guy the mechanic got hung up on this other job, so let me check on it for you. So I'm waiting. He comes back. He says, well, we didn't get a chance to work on it at all. Can you leave it through tomorrow? And I was like,
Leave it overnight. Yeah.
no.
No.
So, I mean, and here's the thing. I had made an appointment. It's not like I just showed up there. I made an appointment for
ahead of time,
Thursday.
yeah.
Like days and days ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's what really irritated
Yeah.
me. Because it's like if I had just shown up, then okay, I could see that.
Sure. Yeah. Then you could.
But
yeah,
I
that makes
had
sense.
an appointment. And
Nobody regards appointments anymore.
that made me mad. And I was telling my brother, I'm happy for the man that he's got all this business. I'm
Yes.
happy for
Yeah.
him.
That's great.
But
Yeah.
you don't treat somebody that way who's got an
No,
appointment,
who's
especially
been there before too.
and especially someone who's like one of your biggest fans,
Yeah.
because I bragged up their shop on Yelp and everything, or Google
Yeah.
or something. I talked about how wonderful they were and everything. And the owner, I still say the owner is a super nice guy. I don't have any ill will towards him. I hope he does not suffer as far as, God getting even. But
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Pastor said that she tells God, it's okay. Don't get even with them. But once you move away, yeah, because you just don't do that to God's people. You don't. But people don't have regard for that, and in that same sense, they may not even notice when everything goes crashing down that it's God.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Well,
something else.
people
They'll
who-
blame it on something. Yeah,
People who aren't, who aren't saved, they don't believe in God.
right.
They don't.
Right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just coincidence, or
Right,
it's just
right. So now she can go to
karma.
our garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be calling their mechanic,
Yeah,
Sandy and
yeah.
Son,
Yes.
and we'll see how things go.
Yeah, no, they are fantastic guys, and they work with you, and that's what you need. So
That's it for
yeah,
my
yeah,
update.
I think
I
that's
think we've beaten that to death, haven't we?
we have. So once again, take care of yourself because nobody else will, and that's exactly where we are, except God.
Yes.
We know that God will take care of you, and so don't depend on others. Look
Depend
to
on
Him.
God.
Yeah, depend on God. That's all we
Take
got.
all your cares to the Lord.
Amen.
I called the eye doctor, my vision was askew. I called the eye doctor to see what he could do. And then the eye doctor, he told me what to do. He said, ding, ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, ding, walla, walla, ding, ding. Ding, ding,